All right, everybody, this is Mr. Wyrick, and today I'm going to start walking you through the first part of the 1.4 notes about standard deviation and variance. When I come back on Friday, we're going to calculate this. We're going to be working through this. Some of you may be getting a video of me again doing that, so we'll just have to see how it works out. If you want to click along with me on the slideshow, I'll let you know what we're kind of looking at here. So the second slide is talking about wait times. We are looking at a problem, and we are discussing delivery times for two different delivery companies. That's Company A and Company B. And this is going to be on your handout. And discuss with your group how you would find a way to display these sets of data. You're going to have, actually, it says 30 minutes on your notes, because we would actually spend a little bit of time talking about this if I was back in the classroom. But I'm not going to be there. So you have the rest of the time to kind of work your way through this. And I'm going to want to see, I'd say 4 to 5 sentences and a graph for each one of these, okay? And the questions that you need to think about, the questions that you need to answer: how can you create a display? What measures of center? Remember, that's mean, median, mode. Maybe you can find the range, the IQR, stuff like that. What units should you be using for this? And how can you determine how much the faster and slower times are going to be, and how you're going to compare those to one another? All right, so it's very important that you look at that. Then we continue talking after you've kind of looked at that. So after you've spent some time maybe putting together an argument over here for why you should use Company A, why you should use Company B, and again, 4 to 5 sentences and a graph at the least for each one of those, something that you can use to compare, and not just, here's the numbers for Company A, here's the numbers for Company B. The choice is obvious. No. You are arguing for both of these. You need to make sure you take both sides to start with. We're only going to do part one, that front side of that page. So then we're going to start looking at variability, which is the spread of the data. We've looked at range. We've looked at IQR. So that's something that you can find on here. What is the range of Company A? What's the IQR of Company A? What's the range of Company B? What's the IQR of Company B? And we're going to start looking at something called standard deviation. Standard deviation, it's a measure of variance, or the spread of the data, and how far away from the mean. So you'd find the mean, and we're talking about how far away all of these different values are from the mean in general. Standard deviation is something that we're going to talk about for the entire rest of the time that we're working on statistics. So it's very important that you kind of get this definition in your head and start thinking about standard deviation, deviation from the mean. How far are these things from the mean on either side? And what does that mean for us? So we're going to take a look at standard deviation. We're going to go through all of the steps that you need to do to calculate standard deviation on our notes and in class tomorrow. Okay, so that takes us through slide 3. Slide 4 is talking about how to calculate variance and standard deviation, but it has a really big day 2 at the beginning of it. So now that you've made it all the way to the end of the video, let me give you a really big hint on how to get this stuff put in and make it work for you when you're putting these values into Desmos. If you want to get the graphs to be accurate, if you want to get the graphs to look good, then you enter the stuff for Company A, you enter the stuff for Company B. Whenever something is late, make that a positive number. Our wait time was 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever. Whenever the stuff is early, make that a negative number. Okay, it's the only way to make the graphs and stuff really come out. So if you want to get good information for part 1 there for A and for B, make sure that you are still making this stuff positive if it's late, negative if it is early, because then that makes sense. If you have an average time, a mean time on one of these of a negative 0.6, that means they're usually 0.6 of 1 minute early. Okay, so make sure you get that wrapped up. 4 or 5 sentences for your argument and a graph for each one of those things. You have pretty much the whole period to work on it. I'm not taking a ton of your time. But thank you for sitting through to the end of this video. Don't forget to take a look in skyward. Your test grade should be populating at some time today, and we'll see you later.